What's going on, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back live stream game day edition. Oilers getting set to take on the Colorado Avalanche tonight. Today's live stream brought to you by today's short shift, brought to you by Mid-City Construction Management, a locally owned family company specializing in civil construction projects for over 40 years. Safety is so important to the crew at Mid-City, and they are top of the class when it comes to making sure things are done above board and beyond required standards. They're leaders in their industry in this regard. They make sure their employees get home safe and sound, and they want to wish the same to all of you as well. Title sponsor here on Got Your Back Short Shifts, Mid-City Construction Management, a great locally owned success story in the construction industry. Oilers in action tonight against the Colorado Avalanche, the team that ended their season last year. How much does that really matter? Well, Zach Hyman made a mention of it after the last game the Oilers played. Said they were looking forward to Saturday. It's always a big deal when you play the team that put an end to your year. And then we talked to Connor McDavid a little bit about that today as well. So here's what we're going to do on the live stream today. I'm going to run down some lineup stuff, talk a bit about the Avalanche. We'll get to some player sound today. I had conversations with McDavid, Jay Woodcroft today as well, Stuart Skinner, who, by the way, is going to get the start in net tonight for the Oilers. So I had a chance to talk to Skinner about, well, the competition that is kind of regenerated here between he and Jack Campbell for starts. Did you know who was going to start tonight? I wasn't sure. That means that Jack Campbell's game has come around, because for the last little while, it's been all about when is Stuart Skinner rested and ready to go. And a little bit of question heading into tonight's game, but it will be Stuart Skinner starting against the Colorado Avalanche. So we'll set that up as well. And then I'm kind of managing things here on my own technically, but I'm going to try and get to a few questions and such that some of you have. So I'm kind of monitoring everything on my own here, but let's get to some interaction as well as we get to our Weiss Johnson Twitter mentions. We'll definitely do that. So let's set up the matchup here. Oilers enter play 21-17-2. They're in the second wildcard spot as they sit right now, 8th in the conference, and they are 4-4-2 in their last 10 games played, trying to close out this homestand with another win tonight. Playing better hockey, though. And I think Jay Woodcroft wanted to make that point clear at the end of his last media availability after the last game. He doesn't love the narrative that his team is giving up too much. And so he went out of his way to talk about the number of chances against, the number of shots against, and, really feels like his team has been improving overall in their defensive play, I guess we would say. I'm just taking a look here. Their shots against the last few games. Winnipeg, Seattle, and the Islanders, 17, 24, and 22. So he makes a decent case there. Keep in mind, it was 47 and 38 in the previous two games against Calgary and Seattle. So they've been making a conscious effort to try and dial things in a little bit. And his point is he feels that they have on the defensive front. And so we'll see if they can put back-to-back quality defensive games together. Because that game against the Islanders was really good. They played really well. They came out of that players-only meeting where they talked to one another about whatever. And they came out and they had a better start. They were more dialed in defensively. Gave a little bit of ground, almost let the Isles back into it, but then they held. And that was a good formula. Didn't give up a lot overall in that game. 22 shots. Found a way to beat another team that's pretty hungry and looking to solidify things for themselves in that wild card race out east. So Colorado rolls into town. This is not the Colorado Avalanche squad you watch the Oilers lose to in the playoffs. They're banged up. There's no two ways about it right now. The list of guys that potentially are missing for them: Landeskog, Manson, Byram, Nichushkin, Francouz, Rodrigue, although did hear some rumblings that Rodrigue might be available tonight. But no question, those are critical pieces that are out of the Avalanche lineup. So they recently went on a pretty nice little run. They won 6 out of 7, but then they hit the skids and really banged up with injuries. So they roll into Edmonton, 5 straight losses, 3 points back of the Oilers for that second wild card spot, but 10th in the conference, 4-5-1 in their last 10 games played. So we talk a lot about the Oilers not being where they wanted to be, considering how deep they made it, a Final Four team last year. I guarantee you the Colorado Avalanche are not where they want to be tonight or this season so far as they enter play, but they still have all those fabulous pieces, and fans going to the game will get to see a lot of them tonight. McKinnon's going to be in there, Makar and such. So their lineup, and this could change. This is just kind of what they've been showing the last few days. Lehkonen, McKinnon, and Rantanen. Rantanen, real good player. Interesting one to watch. Comfer between Malgin and Newhook. Cogliano, Myers, and O'Connor. And then we're not sure on the fourth line. We'll see what happens with Rodrigue, McDermott, Helm, and Cott, although Rodrigue could end up sliding in there. Devon Taves and Makar are always that anchor pair for them. Gerard Johnson, Englund, and Brad Hunt. And we think it'll be Georgiev and net. Should be anyways. So an important game standings-wise for the Oilers, an important game confidence-wise for the Oilers, because we all know they can throw a decent game out there when they want to. It's about doing it with some consistency. And so can they build off of the game that they put together the other night? And that's the challenge for them here tonight. Okay, let's get to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. We'll hear what the players were saying before the game. So this idea that they're dialing it in a little bit defensively and that things are going better for them, I presented that to Connor McDavid and just asked if he agrees with the idea that overall the well-rounded portions of their game have been there, even though the results haven't necessarily been the last 3 games or so. And McDavid, he was buying it.
Feels better defensively out there. Feels like we're not getting hemmed in our zone for big stretches of time, not giving up as many shots or chances against. And that doesn't necessarily mean it's resulted in wins or keeping our goals against down, which is obviously the ultimate goal. But definitely feels better out there.
He'll be playing on the line tonight once again with Klim Kostin on one side, Kyler Yamamoto expected to be on the other. What'd you think of Kostin on his wing the other night? I liked it. I thought Kostin played a carefree game. A lot of times guys get dumped into one of those top 6 spots if they're not used to being there, and the spotlight can shine a little bright and you can see the nerves in them. They struggle handling the puck. Maybe you'll try and force it to McDavid a little bit too much or Draisaitl. I thought Kostin played kind of the same game that he'd been playing with McDavid and company. And in fact, I thought he had some really confident looking moments. So I don't know what they have here in Klim Kostin as a top 6 power forward, but worked last game. Might as well let it ride, as Woodcroft is really sticking primarily with much the same lineup tonight. I believe, he wouldn't confirm, but I believe that they will go 11-7 again. Okay, Warren Foegele. A little bit of lack of clarity last game. That was kind of my fault, or our fault as media, because after the game, we forgot to clarify with Woodcroft why was Warren Foegele out of the lineup. They went 11-7. It looked like he was a healthy scratch, but he wouldn't be first on the list of guys that you would think might get healthy scratched, an indication of where they feel his play is at, because don't forget he's been getting some looks in the top 6 lately, then all of a sudden, boom, healthy scratched. So if you're Warren Foegele, you got to keep your eyes open, see what's going on around you. Klim Kostin is sitting in your spot at the table, right? The Oilers are looking for guys that can fill in the top 6. That should be Warren Foegele all day long, right? Bigger body, can separate from pucks, can forecheck, dig pucks out. When they're looking for a candidate, he should be on that list, and he should want to be on that list. Instead, they were looking for a candidate. He got bumped out, then got bumped completely out of the lineup, and now we see in Klim Kostin sitting at his spot at the dinner table. So here is Jay Woodcroft on taking Warren Foegele out.
That's those are hard decisions, because I don't think Warren did anything wrong to be pulled out of the lineup. But when the coaching staff makes a decision to alter your lineup in the way that we did, those are hard decisions to make. And we think Warren's a very good hockey player. He's been a good pro about it, and he is waiting for his turn.
So he'll have to wait again for his turn. I'm just pulling up his stats here. I mean, listen, no points in, what is he here? 1, 2, 3, 4 games, no points. He's got 1 goal in his last 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't been putting up much offensively. His minutes dipped down 10:51 a couple of games ago, and then 12:43. Warren Foegele came in this year wanting more opportunity. Said he wanted to be part of the penalty kill. He was given that opportunity. He's had some looks in the top 6. He's been given those opportunities and hasn't necessarily grabbed onto them. His game has been up and down. Jay Woodcroft senses there's competition in the lineup. He wants to take advantage of that. We'll go back to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox here. By the way, we'll remind you that it's a great time of year to look into a furnace for the garage, and Weiss Johnson is a great place to go. They got some great deals going right now till the end of January. No GST on all garage heater installations, and 20% off all in-stock air conditioners when you purchase a furnace. So those are a couple of real good specials they have on the go right now. Go check out the showroom at 5803 Roper Road or give them a call at 463-3096. So Jay Woodcroft wants competition, and when he goes with that 11-7 configuration, one of the residual benefits, well, I'll let him tell you here as we go to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox, but it definitely rings bells.
I think one of the side benefits of when you go 11-7 is it piques a lot of people's attention. Not just the people that are out of the lineup, but some of the people that are in the lineup. And what happened last game was that we got a result that we wanted. But the fortunate thing for us is that we got a lot of good players, and Warren's one of them.
Okay, Warren Foegele's going to have to earn his way back into the lineup here. This 11-7 configuration pulls a forward out of the mix. It adds the extra D. Niemelainen, by the way, didn't play. I think he played 3 minutes and change there last game. Be interesting to see if they can find a way to work him in a little bit more in this game, because it's not ideal to have a guy sitting there, the entire night and not playing regularly. Woodcroft said it wasn't in their plan to play him that little. It's just kind of the flow of the game and the way that it ended up going. Okay, let's talk about the goaltender. Probably should have started there. Stuart Skinner gets the call in net tonight. And I wasn't sure which way this one was going to go. I wasn't positive. And that signaled something to me. When I was thinking about it, I was going, yeah, I could kind of see them going with Campbell again, right? Played pretty well. Has pulled his game out of the doldrums here. He's had a few good starts, came on in relief, was solid, and then has played well in the few opportunities that he's been given here. And so against Colorado, after Skinner gets yanked, a couple of games ago, do you think, well, maybe they try and let Campbell build off of it? At the end of the day, they decided to go back to Stuart Skinner. I think this is the right call, because I think Stuart Skinner is still their starting goalie, and I think he needs to be treated like their starting goalie. So when things don't necessarily go his way, although, by the way, when he got pulled, it wasn't really on him. It was more to shake up the group. But he didn't get the win, so he gets pulled. Well, you don't leave your starter hanging for too many games after that, right? You maybe start the other guy next game, then you go back to your starting goalie. And this, to me, this is a respect start for Stuart Skinner for the fact that he's been the more consistent goalie this year. It's an important game for this team. I like the messaging by letting Stuart Skinner go. He's 12-10-1, 2.88 goals against average, and a .914 save percentage. So here's Stuart Skinner. I asked him today about the fact that Campbell's playing well and the fact that he's pushing them, but these guys are really tight. So there's this internal competition between the two of them, but Campbell is pushing Skinner, complimentary of Campbell's game, and then just talk a little bit about the relationship there.
He's playing the puck like Marty Turco out there, and it was fun to watch. And yeah, getting that added pressure is great. For both of us, we're always trying to be competitive with one another, try to make each other better every single day, right? So it's been fun.
And it's genuinely being happy for one another when things go well. Hey,
Absolutely.
sometimes guys might have to fake it, but I get that sense with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we've grown to really like each other. We've been able to get on the road with each other, go out for some dinners, and we've been having a lot of fun with each other. He's always given me advice, and even though I don't got much to give to him, he's always asking for some. So it's, I think we've been growing into a great friendship and a great partnership.
And I was talking to, I won't say who, I was talking to one of the players off camera, I don't know, a month or so ago, asked him about the goaltending, and the one comment he made to me was probably two of the nicest teammates they've ever had. Like Stuart Skinner and Jack Campbell are both known for that. And the comment he made was, every time I turn around in this locker room, I'm bumping into a goalie who's asking me how my day was. Which, it's a good thing, right? Like the goalies, if you're not going to be the starter, you're the backup, and that means you got to have positive energy. You got to be a guy that lifts other people up. You can't be a rain cloud guy. And so that's one of the positive things about this duo that they have, is they're both well liked by their teammates. So even if it's not going well for them, they're not guys that are going to be dragging other guys down, and the competition is picking up here between the two of them. I asked Jay Woodcroft one last time here to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox about how he would characterize the competition that he sees happening in net between his two guys.
Same way. I think we feel good about both goaltenders. I think Jack's game is trending in the right direction. He's giving our team a chance to win. I think we have two very good options in net for us.
Two very good options in net, and tonight it will be Stuart Skinner. Okay, before the live stream started, I sent a tweet asking for some questions or seeing if there was anything you guys wanted to discuss. A couple people have brought up the name. Everyone wants to talk trades, obviously. So we'll get to a couple of those here in just a second. I'll run down what I know about the Oiler lineup here. Costin, McDavid, Yamamoto based on morning skate. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins stays with Leon Draisaitl, Zach Hyman. Matthias Janmark, Ryan McLeod, and Jesse Puljujarvi. Then Holloway and Ryan, I believe, will be the extra two skaters, although maybe Hamblin gets a look here. But if they go 11-7, let's say it'll be Holloway and Ryan. Don't be surprised to see Holloway and McLeod get some looks together, though, too. Tony Brar pointed out this morning when they were put together in New York, that's when Holloway scored. Last game, they had some positive things happen when they were on the ice together as well. So maybe we see Dylan Holloway and Ryan McLeod get some minutes here tonight. Nice little uptick lately for Holloway. That was a confident goal that he scored, and this is a young player. I've been very much on record as saying I think he needs to play more or he needs to not be here. But real confident moment for him in that last game, and it'll be interesting to see if he could build off of that a little bit here in this game tonight. Okay, let's get to the Weiss Johnson Twitter mentions before we wrap up here. We'll see what people are saying about the game. High Sticking says this game will show us who this Oiler team is this year. Was last game a mirage, or is this team finally going to start to show us consistency? Thoughts? It's the $1 million question this year, High Sticking. It really is. I think we're not surprised when the Edmonton Oilers go out and put a solid game on the ice. Nobody's going, wow, didn't see that coming from them. I think people know that they're capable of it. It's just strictly not happening enough, not happening nearly enough. And so, consistency is what they've been chasing. Let's find out tonight, right? They put together a good game last game. Now, if you're functioning properly as a group, you find a way to go out on the ice tonight and access that same defensive game that came last game against the Islanders. Start with that same intention tonight. Put that same game out there, and then don't let down. Mistakes are going to happen. Guys are going to turn over pucks. But overall, you got to keep the quality level up high. And I agree, they have not been nearly consistent enough on that front. What's this guy's handle? Foegele has returned. 572 followers for Foegele has returned. Shane Can America is the name. He says, I feel Campbell deserves the shot here. He strung some good games together, and Skinner has let in some stinkers lately along with juicy rebounds. That's why Campbell didn't play. It should go both ways. No, I talked a little bit about this a minute ago. And I can understand why people might feel that way because of the way Campbell has played lately. And you say, well, should just be strictly a meritocracy every single game. If the guy's rested and he did well last game, put him in, right? And in some situations, that's the way it's going to be. I don't think that's where the balance is right now because history matters. It was an open competition between these two. Never mind that. Jack Campbell had the job to lose, and he lost it. And then Stuart Skinner has done a good job holding on to it. Did he dip a touch? Maybe. But they're showing Stuart Skinner the confidence and respect that you would show a starting goaltender by giving him this start here tonight. Now, if he struggles and Campbell goes in next game on this road trip and plays well, the balance shifts a little bit more. And maybe you are heading back towards a 1A, 1B type scenario. Maybe that becomes more the balance moving forward, but not yet. Not yet. And starting Jack Campbell tonight would mean that's where they were right now. And respectfully, Foegele has returned. By the way, he hasn't. He's not in tonight. But I just don't think that's where they're at right now. All right, Nate Hayes says, do you think Edmonton should go all in for Matthias Ekholm if Nashville will retain $2.25 million? I like this player. I think he plays the way the Oilers need a guy to come in and play. A lot of really good things about him. Go all in on him. I'd be a little bit careful. Matthias Ekholm's 32 years old. He's got 3 more years at 6.25. So even if that's 3 more years at, what did you say? If they were at $4 million, say, He's still 32 years old, so you're buying some years off of him that are a little bit older, and I'd be careful about going all in. In terms of spending big assets to bring somebody in, Jake Chychrun to me is younger, at a different stage of his career, and I would say that Jake Chychrun is, if he keeps playing this way, probably will bear himself out to be a $7.5 million defenseman if he keeps playing this way, and he's 3 playoff runs at $4.6 million. So we've talked lots about Jake Chychrun, and we will continue to talk lots about him until a trade is made and he's no longer available or he becomes an Edmonton Oiler. Speck and I were chatting about it today down at the rink. We had a real good debate. There's lots of chatter going on about whether this makes sense for the Oilers or not. Ekholm makes sense from a style of play for sure. The age is what I would be a little bit weary of. Chychrun maybe doesn't make quite as much sense from a style of play standpoint, but as far as cap hit, as far as age, athleticism, kind of hasn't had a chance to really show what he can do in the playoffs. Can he play more of a defensive style? If you ask him to. People question his defensive game. That's fair. I know the analytics aren't great on it. But he's also playing in Arizona. If he comes into Edmonton and gets to pass the puck to McDavid and Draisaitl, and you say, hey, what you actually need to do for this team is to really dial it in defensively, would you bet against Jacob Chychrun being able to focus more on D if that's what the team needed to get where they want to go? I don't know if he'd be capable of it. My gut is he would be. He's pretty athletic and a young guy. So when you talk about going all in with assets, you need more than one crack at it. And if you can have a $7+ million defenseman value-wise for 3 playoff runs at 4.6 on your cap, even if he's not quite the perfect player, doesn't fit exactly, bit of a round peg in a square hole, a little bit. I don't know. If he's that good, do you shape the blue line around him a little bit? Do you realize the value that you have and adjust some personnel around him so that it is a better fit on the blue line? I don't know, but it's hotly debated almost on a daily basis down at the rink between us media guys. I know you fans love beating that one around as well, so it'll be lots of fun as we hurtle towards the trade deadline to see what the Oilers end up doing. Ken Holland can't sit on his hands on this one, though. Broberg played well last game. Even if Philip Broberg plays well for the next month, the Oilers still need to upgrade themselves. They need to head into the postseason with an upgrade on their blue line because it is a pretty significant area of need for them. And I wouldn't be leaving things to chance with a young player in Broberg heading to the postseason. And I believe their intention is to do it. Just a matter of how long it takes them, how much they pay, and whether they find the right guy or not. Okay, that's going to wrap up this Got Your Back short shift edition. Oilers and Avalanche tonight. I think Struds and I are going to try and drop a podcast tomorrow. Might even do another live stream. So we appreciate you following along here on the live stream. We'll take more questions and such tomorrow. So keep an eye on my Twitter feed or the Got Your Back Twitter feed. And we look forward to hopping on live again, taking some questions and chatting about whatever happens tonight between the Edmonton Oilers and the Colorado Avalanche. Big thanks to our sponsors, Mid-City Construction Management, and of course, our good friends at Weiss Johnson as well. Enjoy the game, folks. We'll chat tomorrow.